So today I'm going to be talking about quasi-recovery. And quasi-recovery, it's a fun thing to say, but it's devastating to be in. So there are two forms, I believe. There's quasi-recovery where you know you're in quasi-recovery, and there's quasi-recovery where you're in denial that you're in quasi-recovery. And I've been in both. So quasi-recovery where you know is where I think a lot of people on YouTube are, because they're trying to recover. Maybe they're eating more than they were when they were anorexic. Well, you're still anorexic, you're still sick, or you still have whatever eating disorder you have. You're just doing it on a leash, but the leash is useless because it's not keeping you safe. You're still sick, you're still mentally thinking about food all the time, you still are suffering all the repercussions of your full on restriction. However, you're eating a little bit more. So it's really torturous, actually, because you are doing the behaviors that are devastating to your body and mind, but you're not reaping all of the rewards of it because you're actually eating. So anorexia or whatever eating disorder you have is not satisfied. And because your metabolism is kaput, you have gained weight, but the weight gain isn't enough. So that's one version. And the other version, for me, the other version was I thought I was recovered, but I wasn't. And I denied it because I was still sick and I still needed those behaviors. But because I had eaten more and because I had gained weight, I thought I was fine, even though I thought I was recovered. That was a few years ago, but I was still very sick and I didn't allow myself to have extreme hunger. So you deny your extreme hunger, you think you have binge eating disorder, so you have to curtail that, and it's just a mess. But either quasi recovery you're in, eventually you realize that you're sick, or if you're in the unbeknownst one, you relapse and then you figure it out. Or that was what happened to me. So in either case, let's talk about getting out of quasi-recovery, because that is of the utmost importance, because it is not healing. It is still very damaging to your mind and your physical body, but because anorexia or whatever eating disorder you have is so relentless, you're not satisfying your eating disorder, and you're not even nearing recovery. But when you know, and that is the one that I'm going to focus on today, when you know that you are in quasi-recovery, it is very important to inform yourself and to find your foundation. I talked about that in my last video, finding your foundation of why you're going to recover. Because in quasi-recovery, you just need to get that grip. Because right now you're climbing the mountain and you're just trying to find where to put your hand. So you just need to find that. For me, that was YouTube. That was all of my resources that I usually put in the description. That was just the science behind my brain and the effects on my body. That is very, very personal to you. What is your motivation? So let's talk about why you should recover and why quasi-recovery is such garbage. It is such garbage because your mind is quasi-recovery is not recovery. It shouldn't even be called recovery. It's just quasi, all right? You were in the suspension of eating, but not eating nearly enough, and beating yourself up for every bite you eat and every bite you don't eat. So it's like, it's absolute torture. Because your body is gaining weight, because your metabolism is just garbage, and your mind sees this, and so it's saying, oh, you're recovering, but at the same time, you're not succumbing to extreme hunger or your actual hunger. You're repressing yourself to eat this, and X amount of increased calories or whatever the crap you're trying to do to recover, but it isn't enough. And you know it. You know this because you're either really hungry or you're either mentally hungry. Like, you might not even be physically hungry. It might just be mental hunger because your hunger signals have just given up. So you're in this terrible middle ground that it's not even middle ground. Like, sure, you're gaining weight, but it's a mental disorder that you're dealing with. You need to heal your mind, and the way that you heal your mind is through food. So I don't care if you're in quasi-recovery and you feel like you need to lose weight in order to go to real recovery. That's not true either, okay? You need to recover if you are in quasi-recovery. If you have gained 50 pounds in quasi, just keep going. Go for real recovery, because this is doing nothing for you. You need to heal your head, and the way to heal your head is to eat. And it gets hard, but quasi-recovery is torment. It is the worst. Okay, it is the worst because you can't enjoy your life. You can't enjoy social events because you're still terrified of food. You still have fear foods. You have fears of eating amount at certain times. So your mental there is screwed up. Also, when I was in quasi, I didn't get my period. My body could not heal because it knew it wasn't getting enough. Sure, it got something, but it wasn't enough. I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't healing myself enough. And only recovery did that for me. Only letting go, having extreme hunger, and relaxing and resting. And that's another thing. You don't allow yourself to rest in quasi either, because you just think that you're normal and that you can go on. You cannot go on. So quasi, people in quasi, I feel for you. You think, well, it's this bad to be in quasi. I can't imagine what it is to be in actual recovery. Quasi is 100 times worse than actual recovery, because actual recovery, you're like, all right, I'm in this for the long game. Let's do this thing. Let's see where it takes me. And you know what? It took me a really uncomfortable route, but I am better now. I mean, I'm not completely healed, but I am actually happy. What is holding you back? All of this misery in quasi is not because of the recovery part. It is because of anorexia. So if you just let go of anorexia and you just go full on recovery, it'll serve you so well. It'll be hard, but what you're living through right now is harder. It is a special type of hell in quasi. It is awful. You win. There's no way you win ever in quasi. And you're not healthy. You're not healthy physically, mentally, emotionally. You're in this trap. And to get your feet under you, you need to realize why it's so terrible. And it's so terrible because anorexia or whatever eating disorder you have is still having a grip and pulling you back. You need to free yourself, and you need to jump into recovery. So get your feet under you by finding your foundation, finding your why, and jump. I don't care where you are. I don't care how much weight you gained in quasi. That is irrelevant. You are still just as sick, and you know it. You know that mentally you are not there. Okay, you have a few extra pounds on you, but it's not doing you very well. I mean, you're still under the grips of anorexia, except you're a little bigger. Who the frick cares? Find your foundation, find your why, and run, because that is miserable, and I'm telling you, and I am reinforcing the feelings that you already know. Run away. Jump. There's nothing good about quasi. Recovery is the way to go. Alright, this video is getting very long, and I'm very stressed about editing it, so I'm gonna go. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, whatever. I'll see you later. Bye.